The world that you're in is going to change. I need you to adapt. I need you to start looking at this and saying, God, I understand where everybody's going. And I need to do a much better job locally in a niche area. I need to show up more for all those people that I want to attract. Start building this out. There's a shift happening around all of us in real estate. The playing field is changing dramatically, and all the pieces are being set right now. We're watching it happen live. I want to go over it. I want to talk to you about Rocket Mortgage, about ICE Mortgage, about what Lower just did, about all of these companies and how they're setting up the future, the immediate future of real estate, how it affects you, and how you need to change, pivot, adapt, and grow. I'm going to give you the solution for this, things that we're putting into place now. But first, let's get right into this one, because right here, starting off, you see mortgage lender Lower acquires Movoto and parent OJO. Now you may think, well, first of all, who's Lower? I've never heard of them. And second, you're thinking, well, why does this even matter, Tristan? Well, let's go over the highlighted areas, not a lot, because right after I'm going to pivot over to what Rocket is doing. Here, acquiring Movoto strengthens our position as the challenger platform, enhancing our ability to deliver the best localized and personalized service and capture significant market share. Now, will they do it? I don't know. I mean, it's a smaller company, privately funded. I'm not sure that they're actually going to be able to reach the goal to be that all-in-one that all of these companies are shooting for. Here, let's continue to read. The deal will enable better customer acquisition. So from the point of acquiring Movoto, yes, a lot of people visit that website online. So yes, they can acquire them. The statement further asserts, adding that the combined firm will connect loan originators, right? Not something brand new where people go visit the site. We talk to them, agents, me, right? I talk to them. But then they also Lower owns the mortgage side of it. Okay. And then it continues to say, to thousands of motivated homebuyers and top performing agents in their markets. News of the deal comes on the heels of several, right? This is what we wanted to talk about, several other major and similar acquisitions, perhaps most notably Rocket's picking up of Redfin and Mr. Cooper. Also, deals that will enable the participants to move closer to an end-to-end real estate platform. Now, Zillow's been trying to do this for a long time. I think they've done a pretty decent job, right? We'll come back to that. They've done a pretty good job. They own the number one real estate website. So all the consumers go there. They have over 1 billion visitors a year. It's nuts. And then as soon as they go through, they also have a piece of the loan. They have a piece of title. They have a piece of everything. In fact, they take a piece of the real estate agent's income as well if you belong to Zillow Flex. And if not, you're a Zillow Premier agent. You have to pay to be showcased, right? So they're trying to figure this out too. And on the heels of this are Rocket now trying to get in Redfin and Mr. Cooper. Look here, such platforms have been the stated objective of many real estate companies for years now. This isn't something new, but have so far failed to materialize or yield transformative results. In fact, Redfin was one of those, right? Redfin wanted to create this and then they failed at it. They tried to remove the agent. They realized the agent's the core piece, so they come in and bring it in, and that's the part that's actually failing them right now. So we'll see what happens when Rocket picks them up. Now, the reason I want to show you Rocket is because Rocket wants to do the same thing. And they're not shying away from telling everybody what they want to do. This is why I want you to pay attention to things. I don't want you to look at things and be like, oh, I hate Zillow, I hate Rocket, I hate Lower, or whoever else, or ICE. I want you to look at this and learn from it. Because at the end of this, I'm going to show you exactly what you need to do. But in the meantime, you need to be paying attention to what other companies are doing so that you can pivot and change. Because one thing is guaranteed, this business isn't going to look like it's looking now 5 years from now. It's it's going to look very different. Now, it's still about relationships. Thank goodness, right? But we're looking at Rocket right here. And Rocket, I've got 3, 1, 2, 3. You'll see those tabs. Let's go to the very first one. I've got page 8 here. Slide number 8. I'll put these in the description, so just grab them. This is what they presented to the investors. And this was what does it say? Investor presentation, May 2025. We're going to scroll through and find slide number 8. And this to them is important because it says massive market opportunity. The homeownership market is large and fragmented. Look at the GDP right over here, 29 trillion gross domestic product. I'm going to zoom in right here. It says total addressable homeownership market, 5 trillion, but there's a little 2. There's a little 2, right? It's saying, hey, you know what? This is what it actually means. And I'm going to zoom in so we can read this together. Right. It says number 2. Home buying market includes mortgage, real estate, title, and homeowners insurance market. Company estimates based on industry research, including Fred, MBA, and Fannie Mae. All right. Now, if we're looking at this and we're saying, wow, the total addressable market for real estate is 5 trillion and mortgage origination is 2 trillion. How do they bridge the gap? You start looking at why they need to do this. First of all, they think it's fragmented. They're using the word fragmented right here. Everyone uses that word. Zillow says it's fragmented all the time. It's not the experience that you want for buyers or sellers, right? So we'll do a better job. So this is what they're coming after. Now let's go to slide number 10 because this paints a clearer picture. Now, I don't dislike Rocket. In fact, I like Rocket. I think they're awesome. I'm looking at this and saying, what can I learn from them? Because look at what they're saying. This is the only company I know that's outlining it like this. Home buying is complicated, stressful, and expensive. Zillow says the same thing. Redfin said the same thing. All these companies say the same thing. But what's different is they're actually showing you little pictures and they're saying, hey, I'm going to zoom in because I thought this was great. It says home search, title and closing, listing agent fee for selling, buyer agent fee for buying, and financing, right? The mortgage. That's 12. That's assuming right on a certain price. I think maybe 500,000 or so. But here, buy, sell, financing, title, all of this. And the person in the middle, that's the consumer. They're like, oh my gosh, exclamation mark and question mark. Like, what's going on? Total transaction cost, 40. Now, why would you think they're outlining it like this for investors? Well, the next slide is really telling you. It's like, well, like everybody else, they're saying disruption is going to be the key. And if you go to number 13, slide number 13, where was it? Slide number 13, which I like, it explains it a little better. It says, hey, homeownership partner for life, because now that we have Mr. Cooper, now that we have we're getting Mr. Cooper, we're getting Redfin. The first year, you're going to purchase a home. You're going to find us on Redfin. We're going to refinance into a lower rate because Mr. Cooper services your loan. And then you're going to reach out again through Redfin because we're going to purchase a bigger home. And then cash out equity for kitchen remodel. Well, you're going to need an equity line. You're going to reach out to either us, Rocket, or since we're servicing your loan through Mr. Cooper, you're going to reach out to us, right? Here's a better, clearer picture to me. This is a different slide deck. This is specifically for when they were announcing they're going to acquire Redfin. And I think this is April, maybe March. Let me check. Slide number 7, and this one is March 2025. And you take a look at slide number 7, an integrated end-to-end ecosystem. They're outlining it for you. In fact, they're giving you the heads up. This is where we're heading, right? We've got the home search. Let's start over here. Home search, Rocket, Redfin. Next. Well, if you want a rental, we got you too. Don't worry about it. Real estate brokerage, Redfin. Going down, home refinancing, Rocket. Title and closing, don't worry, we got you covered there too. Loan servicing, of course we've got your back. personal financing, right? That's when they announced Redfin. Now, take a look at the big picture. Another slide deck for investors. I think this one was April. I'm also putting it in the description so you can grab this. And it's not hidden. It's online. You can go and Google it. You'll find it. It's crazy and great. Rocket and Mr. Cooper and Redfin all together. Look at this. This is the plan. You have to start thinking like this. You, single agent, have to start thinking like this. And by the way, take a look at this when you have a chance. Scroll through it. You'll see the rest of their plan, how they integrate AI and so forth. And then the other one that's been around that nobody talks about is ICE, like mortgage technology. This one is even bigger. Like you're concerned about Rocket? You should be concerned about the company that nobody's heard of because they already have all those pieces. Look at this. Explore the ICE mortgage technology suite of products. Real estate. Okay. They own the MLSs. That's crazy. Customer acquisition. We've got that. Loan manufacturing, settlement and closing, capital markets, servicing. We've got the whole, in fact, we've got a more complete platform than Zillow, than Rocket, than Lower. I mean, Lower doesn't even compete. Now, I asked Gemini, which is AI, right? Google. I asked Gemini just so I had a clear picture. What's Zillow's market cap? Like, what's her value, right? And I'm going to go with this one. It says Zillow's market cap as of May 14th, 2025, about 14 billion, right? Some are saying it's a little higher. I'm going to go with conservative amount, 14 billion. So you can see the difference. Rocket companies, right? Let's go a little bit more conservative, right? It says market capitalization of approximately 25 billion. That's significantly bigger than Zillow, right? Now let's take a look at ICE, the one you haven't heard of, right? Let's just read this, which is crazy. The market capitalization for the parent company, the Intercontinental Exchange, was approximately 99 billion. Let's just round it up, 100 billion. That's crazy, right? And they could easily swallow these two. And then Lower, well, just to show you Lower appears to be a private company. It's received funding. So they're baby in comparison. Now you start thinking, well, this is crazy. I understand where we're going now, Tristan. It's out there. It started. We can't stop this machine going, right? And then you layer in every other company that's trying to come after us, trying to get a piece of the commission. Where does that leave you? Well, look, I wrote an article about 3 weeks ago. I was just going through and saying, how can we fight this personally? How can I go up against this locally, right? Not with the brokerage, because we've got a brokerage too in California, right? Not Y Realty. I'm talking about as a team, as an individual agent. And I thought, all right, and I'm going to put this in as well into the description. I posted this, I made a blog out for everyone to read, and it's on Substack. And I'll put up the link, and I called this Barton's rule, right? How to flip the script on Barton's rule. Rich Barton, he created Zillow. And so he just explained how they started growing. They didn't want Google to reach into their pockets and start to take money from them. So instead, they reached into real estate. Now they reach into the real estate agent pocket, right? And I said, you know what? Let's learn from this, because Zillow is trying to achieve everything that they're trying to achieve, that the rest are trying to achieve too. So it's a race. Not all of them will survive at the end. They won't look the same, right? But let's take a look at the two things you can work on today, please. Number one, become the default brand. And read this to me. This is just super simple. It's not very complicated. I want you to start somewhere. Remember, this business is all about relationships, but you have to show up in order for people to know you exist, right? Like, look what Zillow does. And Rocket didn't own an arm that would bring in people, so they bought or are buying Redfin. Same thing with Lower. They didn't own that arm. Well, what about you? How are you going to bring in people locally? For me, I wrote down publish short daily market takes on Instagram, TikTok, weekly. Look, the most visited websites in the world are still the same: Google, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, WhatsApp, and X. Look how many of those are social. So think about weekly YouTube deep dives and monthly emails that give real numbers, not canned reports. Make it unique. Sponsor hyper-local search terms. Use, for me, Westlake Village pool homes with Google LSAs, right? Local service ads. And push every viewer to an owned site you control, not a portal. Listen, you need your own website. You can use Lofty as a CRM and grab a website there. Send people to your website. Put some money behind it. Use the old Zillow strategy, which they still use, by the way, and so does Realtor.com, and so does Homes.com. They purchase ads on Google. And then run offline brand moments, quarterly client events, local podcasts, small format for outdoor signage, community events. People need to remember you and start replacing you locally. Start replacing Zillow with you, your name locally, your brand locally. Now, there's a lot more to this, but I'm just giving you a gist. And number 2, own the workflow. See, the other piece that they own, you can see it with Zillow. When they bought Loop, right? They bought Showing Time. They're owning that workflow. And I need you to start looking and saying, well, during the workflow, now that I've got them in my net, right? Why would I send them out to a different IDX? Give prospects a single link that handles search, your IDX site. Chat with an agent. Hey, talk to me. Have a lender that's with you. Financing, pre-qual. Look, and in some cases, let me stop sharing really quick. In some cases, you may want to get your lender license, your mortgage broker license, and you may want to do both, right? Now, you can't do both on the same transactions in some states. I think that's how it works. I don't have a mortgage license. I'm not sure. But you may want to do both, or at least someone on the team has both. Or maybe you partner up with somebody else. The point is, you're going to have to start thinking, saying, how can you own the workflow? And make sure that you have all of the technology that's involved in the whole process. And look at this. After closing, keep them in a private home hub. By the way, if you haven't taken a look at Homeowner.ai yet, take a look at it. You can own that whole process. And look at RAYSE, RAYSE. During the process of your client going through this purchasing process, keeping them up to date, this is how you own the workflow. This is how you impress them during this time. Look what I wrote there. It said Home Hub, Equity Tracker, Maintenance Calendar, Vetted Vendor Directory, Yearly Property Tax Checkup. Tie every touch point to your CRM so you never need to rent the relationship back from your portal. And in reality, that's what we're doing, right? We're having to rent all these things because we haven't taken the time to build this relationship from scratch and maintain it, because we're terrible at it. And I don't want to blame you or me on this one, because our world is commission-based and we need to go to those people that close right now or very soon, or we won't make money. But you need to have a solution for this longer-term play, because look who's coming after you. So the world that you're in is going to change. I need you to adapt. I need you to start looking at this and saying, God, I understand where everybody's going. And I need to do a much better job locally in a niche area. I need to show up more for all those people that I want to attract. Start building this out. And I'll keep on talking on this subject, because in my book, Real Estate Prospecting, you can pick it up on Amazon, but in that book, I break down how you can use our method, HOP. Your brand meets your client at home, online, and in person, routinely throughout the whole year. And this is how you win. Anyway, hopefully you enjoyed this one. If you did, share it with somebody else. If you have a comment, put it below. Thank you for watching or listening. Have an awesome day.